Okay guys, we're back working on the 944. Today we have 4 wheels here. We decided to go with Momo wheels for the wheel that I'm putting in my car because they've been making race wheels since 1964 and Porsche's a brand known for racing. The models we have out on the table right now are the Mod 8, the Prototipo, the ModSeven, and the Monte Carlo. So we're going to talk about some of the different features of the wheels, the shape, the offset, the general visibility with them, how it feels to sit in the car with them, where they put you in terms of your seating position, how well you can see your gauge cluster. A really cool feature with the new wheel that we got, the Mod 8, has an NFC chip in the back of it so you can confirm that it was actually made in Italy and not knockoff. So the first wheel that we're going to start with, I think, is the Prototipo. It's a pretty popular wheel in the 944. It's a very basic wheel and it matches the brushed aluminum look on some of my center console. So we'll see how it fits and how it feels to sit with this Prototipo. What we have here is a Momo hub specific for the 944, specifically for the early model. The wheel that we have in the car right now is the Momo Prototipo. Some of the upsides is the appearance. A lot of the wheel just matches the interior of the car. You have the brushed aluminum look with the brushed aluminum look to the center console right here. You have the black and yellow, which matches the gauges. So it's pretty fitting for the car appearance-wise. The diameter wheel we have right now is 350 mil. The upside of that is that you're able to see the gauges really, really well. That does come with one downside, and that is that if you are in a comfortable seating position where you have good leverage on your steering wheel, right now I have to be stretched out for my knees to clear the steering wheel and not to be crashing into it, tapping it with my knee. Similar to if I'm hitting the clutch, I'm gonna be hitting it with my knee. But it's especially worse if you get into like a comfortable seating position where your arms are closer to like a 45. You end up bumping your knees into the wheel a lot more often. So I think we should move on to the next wheel and see what the ups and downs with that is. Okay guys, we got the new wheel in the car. This is the ModSeven, very similar to the Prototipo, but with an aggressive offset. Aesthetically, it also matches the gauges. It looks very nice. I really like the 12 o'clock ring. The one nice thing about the offset is you have much more room for your legs. So you're able to go up and down without colliding with your steering wheel as aggressively. Also, it puts your hands at close, like a smaller angle, so you have more leverage when you're going to steer. So we're gonna move on to the next wheel. The next wheel we have in the car is the Monte Carlo. This wheel is the same diameter as the Prototipo and the ModSeven. It's also 350 mil, although it does have some nice features. This opening is a little bit lower, so you have a little bit more of a view for the bottom part of the gauges. I think this wheel looks a lot more modern than the Prototipo, and so in the updated interior for the 944, I feel like it would look better than the Prototipo, in my opinion. Another nice feature on this wheel is the grips that are on the back of the wheel and how low these grips sit right here. So if you were to hold on to the ModSeven or the Mod 8 or the Prototipo, all 3 wheels, the grip point right here is going to be a little bit higher, and some people would prefer it here, but there are some people that prefer the grip to be a little bit lower. The downsides still do exist with the wheel not having as large of an offset, and so my knee is still able to hit it when I'm pressing the brake and when I'm pressing the clutch. If you're able to get this wheel in a smaller diameter, that might be a pretty good fit for this car, but in this size, I'd still probably lean towards the ModSeven. And with all those upsides and downsides, I think we should move on to the next wheel. So the last wheel in the 944 is the Mod 8. This wheel has a slightly smaller diameter, but slightly thicker grips. The actual spoke pattern of it looks nothing like the Prototipo or the Monte Carlo. It's a pretty modern look, I think. Probably more fitting of a 90s car. I think it still works in this car. I really like that it still has the 12 o'clock marker, and I do like the color scheme of it being black and yellow, matching my gauges. I think that looks pretty nice. It being a smaller diameter makes it so I have a lot more space for my legs. Another effect of it being a smaller diameter is the car feels a lot more like a go-kart than it does with the slightly bigger wheels. So it's just a lot snappier when you're steering, and it's honestly makes the car a bit more fun to drive. So this wheel comes with the most aggressive offset out of all the wheels that we have here today. The offset gives you a lot of clearance for your knees. So I am able to press my clutch in, release my clutch, and I'm not really hitting the steering wheel at all. Same thing with the brake. The only downside I can really see is that it does cover up the gauges a little bit more than the other wheels, just because it is a smaller diameter wheel. And so that is something to consider. I don't think it covers up my fuel gauge, and it doesn't cover up my miles per hour, so I think I'm safe. I think it's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. Since we are done with this wheel, I think we should do a recap of all the wheels and all the features at the table. As you can see, we have 3 wheels on the table, and I have decided to go with the Mod 8 in my car. The reason I decided to go with that wheel is because the greater offset lets me have more clearance for my knees when I'm driving, and the smaller diameter makes the car feel a lot more like a go-kart, and that is my preference. I like having road feel, and I like being able to control the car with smaller inputs. But that does not mean that that wheel is for everyone. So some of the features of these wheels is, this would be your classic wheel. You could get the Prototipo in a smaller diameter, and maybe that would fit you better. Maybe you like the aesthetic better of the brushed aluminum and it matching the interior, and it has stitching, which is some people like having their stitching exposed. The Monte Carlo is a good option for a more modern car, I'd say. Nice features, having the grip speed set lower and having the grooves in the back of the wheel, making it feel like you have to drive more aggressive and be more confident with your grip. Last, we have the ModSeven, which is a good wheel for someone that might be taller but likes the aesthetic of the Prototipo. So first impressions of the wheel pulling out of the garage. It's weird. It's a lot more turny.
We're also on the Mod 8.
Yeah, this is the Mod 8. So I guess we're gonna. But it does, you know, it's like a lot less.
You need less steering input.
Yeah. It's just like smaller actions, bigger actions. You know what I mean? Smaller movements, bigger actions. So it just does feel a little bit like...
I feel like it's really livened it up in here almost.
It does feel very live.
And how's your leg clearance?
My leg clearance is great, so I could change the seating position maybe a little bit. Feels great.
And then there is also always the option, if you really want to run the Prototipo or a wheel with no offset, to do a spacer or a quick release. Although if you're going to do that, go for a legit one. But I think having a wheel with a deep offset and just your standard Momo hub is the best solution.
Yeah, I would say so. That hard, I'm not shifting that badly. But yeah, it does feel a lot more alive, which is kind of nice. It does feel like there's a bit more like road feel, I guess, because it's a smaller wheel, it's going to have a bit more feedback.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. That's an interesting sensation. Your stuff is going to be further away, so that is something, you know. I mean, I guess it just depends on how much you care to reach just a little bit more, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. It's not too much of a game changer.
Yeah, that's something you'll get used to as well.
Yeah, it's just stick your hand out a little bit more. So it's pretty fun.
So Danny's been driving the Mod 8 around for a couple of days now. He absolutely loves it. It has really changed the whole driving experience of the Porsche. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe. We've got tons of projects on the 944 and the Sentra coming out very soon here, so stay tuned. Thank you. Peace.